Chapter 3. Jessica and Storm sat under the table under the awning, which her dad had put up outside the camper van. The other members of the High Flyers have arrived now, and they were already having lunch together. At first, Jessica couldn't help worrying that someone was going to see Storm sitting on her lap. But when no one seemed to notice him, she began to relax. After checking that she wasn't being watched, Jessica broke off pieces of her cheese sandwich and handed them to Storm. The tiny puppy chomped them down eagerly. He jumped down to the grass, wagging his tail as he sniffed at the floor, licking up every last delicious crumb. Jessica tried really hard not to giggle. As soon as lunch cleared up, Jessica's mom and dad and the other High Flyers began unpacking the balloon and equipment from a trailer. Jessica had seen them do this 100 times. She was about to suggest to Storm that they could go and take a walk, but she seemed to be fascinated by what was happening. What is that big, flat-collared object lying on the grass? Storm wolfed curiously. And he ran around with his tongue hanging out. Is it something to play with? No, that's the club's balloon. It's made of a very special light material. As you can see, it's collapsed right now, so you can't see the shrink. Don't go running around on it, or you'll get a big surprise, she called to him in a whisper. Where Storm looked like he was about ready to pounce onto the balloon. Once they got the burner ready, it will light the jets and start filling the hot air balloon with, well, hot air. Storm's tiny forehead wrinkled in a furry frown. Then what happens? The balloon inflates and it gets really, really, really big. It's tied down right now, but if it wasn't, it would float right up into the air, as high as those clouds. Storm glanced upward, his big, bright eyes sparkling in amazement. Up there? He wolfed. Jessica nodded. She pointed to the basket that was lying next to the balloon. See that? That's where Dad and the passengers stand when they go up the balloon. You have to be a qualified pilot to be in charge. Dad taking exams on flying and navigation and stuff. He's very experienced and he's won lots of hot air balloon races. But why do humans do this? Storm wanted to know. Is this a hobby? That's something you do for fun, Jessica explained. Storm's midnight blue eyes were as round as saucers. He couldn't believe anyone would want to do such a strange thing for fun. Do you go up into the sky, Jessica? He barked, looking very nervous. I used to, but I don't really like heights. My head just feels really weird and I get sick and dizzy, Jessica said. I usually just watch from the ground or go with Mom's or someone else in the support car to where the balloon lands. Sometimes I stay in the band, but now that you're here, we can both have fun together. Storm nodded, looking relieved. He seemed to lost interest in the balloons. Does that mean lots of logs? He yapped, ruff, ruff, with a cute doggy grin. Definitely, Jessica laughed. We can go for one now if you would like. All of a sudden, there was a loud hissing roar as the burner ignited. A huge spurt of bright yellow flame shot out and heated air began floating into the collapsed balloon. Yikes! Storm screamed, almost jumping out his fur. He ran sideways. His fur rose into a little ridge along his back. Fire! He screamed. Jessica felt a strange warm tingling flowing down her spine. as big golden sparks ignited in the puppy's arms and his tail crackled with electricity. Storm raised a front paw and a fountain of gold glitter whooshed towards the burner. There was a soft and the gas jets went out. Miss Tennant looked puzzled. Huh, that's funny. Maybe we should clean the jets up again, he said. He tried to light them about success. It's okay, Storm, Jessica whispered. That's what's supposed to happen. Can you please make the burner work again? Looking rather embarrassed, Storm whooshed his paw and sent more sparks hurtling towards the hot air balloon. Then a flame whooshed in. That's it! Mr. Tennant said. Every last gold spark disappeared from Storm's fur, but Jessica could see he was still frightened and shaky. His little white tail drooped. Jessica quickly checked that everyone was busy before pretending to bend down and tie her sneaker. Don't worry, there's no danger. Sure, she soothed, petting Storm's soft little ears. I'm sorry. I should explain that the burners make a loud, scary noise when you're not used to them. Storm looked at her trustingly and began wagging his tail. Jessica felt a surge of affection for this brave, lovely little puppy who had stood his ground, and he tried to help her despite his natural fear of fire. Ugh, that's an ugly balloon! And the basket's really small, ain't it? A familiar voice said behind Jessica. Gail! Jessica quickly jumped to her feet. Her heart racing in case the older girl had seen her talking to Storm. But Gail was watching the purple, blue, and light blue rippling as it swelled up to its full size. It's big enough for us! Dad has won lots of trophies in it anyways, Jessica replied. Gail curled her lip. Sure he has, she said, making it obvious. Yes, that she didn't believe Jessica for a minute. Then unexpectedly, she smiled and her voice softened. Why don't you come over and see our new balloon? It's so cool. Jessica thought about reminding Gil that she said she didn't want to hang out with younger kids, but her curiosity got the best of her. Okay, then, we might as well, I might as well. Jessica corrected quickly. She would have to be more careful about keeping Storm a secret from anybody else. Gail gave her a weird look, but then smirked and turned on her heel. Jessica followed Gail and Storm trotted behind her. They wove through the other balloons and trailers and came to a big open land of grass. A vast black balloon in the shape of a snarling wolf's head was almost drifting upright and hung there, connected to an enormous basket and tied in the ground. Jessica stared in astonishment. She thought the basket could hold about 10 people. The noise from the twin burners was really loud. A gust of wind blew the huge black balloon, and it seemed to turn in Jessica's direction and grinned down at her like a hungry monster. Storm laid his ears back and shot behind Jessica's legs. He stood there trembling. "What did I tell you?" "Isn't it amazing?" Gale said triumphantly. "It's not bad," Jessica said, determined to not sound impressed. The Cloud Racers seemed to have a much bigger club than the High Flyers. She could see just about 20 people riding the giant wolf balloon. Then Jessica noticed a small boy with them. He looked about 6 years old and wore a bright red Spider-Man t-shirt. Gale saw where he was looking. Again. "This is my brother, Mikey. He's not allowed to go up in the balloon because the rules say he's too short. That's why he follows me around when Mom and Dad are flying. He's really annoying," Gale grumbled. Mikey looked over at Jessica and gave her a bright smile. He seemed like a really sweet kid. "I don't think it's much fun for me to have to put up with a sister like Gale." A blonde woman stood next to Mikey and looked over. She waved to Gale and Jessica. She was wearing lots of bright makeup, a floaty pink top, and high-heeled sandals. Gale waved back. "That's my mom. Isn't she gorgeous like a movie star?" "Oh, yes, she's very pretty," Jessica commented. Although she thought Mrs. Young looked a little too dressed up for the balloon, and other moms were wearing shorts, t-shirts, and sneakers. "If you've seen enough, you can go back to your pathetic-ass old balloon," Gale said cheerfully. She walked across the grass towards her mom and little brother without looking back. Jessica's jaw dropped. She just given Gale another chance to be friends, and then ended up getting ditched again. "Is there anyone more annoying than Gale Young?" she complained to him. "Come on, I'll just go and tell my parents that I'm going for a walk." "I would like that," stormed Wolf. He threw a final scared glance at the wolf balloon before scampering after Jessica.